Now, I know as Bears fans, we're looking forward to this team coming back and playing again on Sunday after last week's bye, feeling really good. 3-1 in first place in the NFC North. Then the news is dropping that Ryan Tannehill might not even play, and it's going to be the Brock Osweiler experience. So here are the Bears fans getting full of themselves, feeling really good, probably feeling cocky about it and everything. And it's why I took to Twitter before game time on Sunday and tried to caution everybody. I did. I absolutely did. I tried to warn everybody. Brock Osweiler, the 2 times he's faced the Bears, once with the Broncos in 2015, once with the Texans in 2016, he beat them both times. Also, when you look at the conditions in Miami, it was going to be like close to 100 degrees on the field Sunday. That's a tough environment to go into, just like extreme cold can be for warm weather teams. Then, when you also throw into an account that the last time the Bears played a team on the road and faced a crappy quarterback, they almost lost to Suck Bradford. And Brock Osweiler starting is just the type of dumbass thing that the Chicago Bears would allow to happen to them. A scrub starter comes in, has a great game, and beats them. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know, that's exactly what the hell happened. This game was nuts and bonkers of all types in the second half and overtime. It was, to me, going to go down as one of the most interesting and compelling and entertaining in a somewhat train wreck, but also good type of way, any game this season. It was going to be one of the best all year. It's going to be one of the best you've seen. It really is going to be. Especially if you're a Dolphins fan. Maybe not so much if you're a Bears fan. But let's talk about what happened, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as the Dolphins win 31-28 in overtime. The first half was really ugly. The Bears offense couldn't get going at all. The Dolphins scored an early touchdown, and they were driving right before the half before Brock Osweiler threw a pick to Fuller. And then you start to look at it and like, okay, the Bears are only down 7. They've played like absolute garbage, specifically offensively. You know, never mind the Jordan Howard fumble at the goal line. That was a big killer right there in the first half. But you feel good about the team's chances to get the ball first in the second half. They're only down 7 when they probably could be down a whole lot more. And to be fair to the Bears offense, they showed up big in the second half. They put up some points. You talk about a total of 28 points in the second half. This was going shootout style in the second half. And it's just every time they got a chance to put away the Dolphins, they failed to do so. And the longer you allow a team to stay in a game, the better they feel about their chances to win, whether or not they really should feel that way. And especially to me, the biggest momentum turning point in this game had to be when Trubisky, when the Bears are driving and about to go up 2 touchdowns in the red zone, makes that horrible read, doesn't see T.J. McDonald at any point in time, and throws the pick. If you at least kick the field goal there, if nothing else, you're up 2 scores. If you score a touchdown there, it's probably all she wrote. But now the Dolphins get an interception, they come right down the field, and they score a touchdown, and it's game freaking on. You just can't have that. And there were lots of bad plays, lots of good plays in this game for both teams, frankly. But that's the moment of this game. And it's not just to pick on Trubisky, because this was a total team loss, don't get me wrong. But if I had to single out one moment that defined this game for the Chicago Bears, the one moment I could point to as to where this game was possibly lost, it was that horrible read where Trubisky just flat out didn't see McDonald at all, even though he's looking in his general direction. He throws the pick in the red zone. You just can't have that, especially when you're already that deep in the opponent's territory, especially when, worst case scenario, you want to come out of there with 3 points and go up 2 scores. That was the moment that the game's dynamic changed, because in the second half, it was all Bears. They were dominating up to that point. And then it was a seesaw yo-yo battle the rest of the way up to and including overtime. And when you look at this game, especially as the way the fourth quarter played out and then you get into overtime, Kenyon Drake fumbling at the goal line with a hell of a play by Hakeem Hicks, forcing the fumble. It felt like the Bears didn't deserve to win this game, and ultimately they didn't. It would have been nice if they would have held out for the tie, but they lost. Not a fun Sunday. Was in some ways because the game was crazy and nuts, but you want to find a way to win those types of games. The good for the Bears, though, this game, you had 28 points in the second half. So you're talking about an offense that couldn't get its footing at all, was scoreless at halftime, comes out and scores 28 points in the second half. What they were doing in the second half was really working. Defensively, they forced 3 turnovers. So on the road, you want to win the turnover battle. You want to not turn over the ball yourself, and you want to turn over the opposing team because turnovers can be the great equalizer. Well, at least the Bears' defense was doing their part by getting some turnovers in some big-time spots. And then, even when you talk about Trubisky and that horrible pick, he responded nicely. Still had that other terrible throw across his body in the middle of the field late in the game that should have been picked, but he did make some big plays and some nice reads when it mattered too. He didn't totally fold like a house of cards. That defensive goal line stand in overtime where Hicks ultimately forced the fumble by Kenyon Drake was a great kind of defining moment for a defense on a day where they weren't great. Khalil Mack wasn't much of a factor. The defense was frankly struggling. They were playing in the heat. They had been marched down the field, had it crammed down their throats, and they stood firm and stood tall when they absolutely had to. And Hicks, another stud on that defense, made a big play. So there was good to take out of this game going forward. The bad, though, 0 points in the first half. You had 2 weeks to prepare. You can put up a damn point. I know you can point to the Jordan Howard fumble, but that was the only time you were in scoring position in the first half. That just can't happen. Trubisky's red zone pick, that was god-awful. Again, it can't happen because that was truly the moment that the game changed. 3 turnovers in a road game. It's really, really hard in the NFL to go on the road and win when you turn the ball over 3 times. And even though you could say the turnover battle was split, it was 3 for each side. If you don't have the Jordan Howard fumble, if you don't have the Trubisky interception, it wasn't just that they were turnovers. It was when they happened and where they happened on the field. Multiple red zone turnovers. Even when you look at Cohen's fumble, where that happened on the field, they were in really bad spots. You just can't have that. No sacks like Brock Osweiler, a statue in the pocket, no pocket presence at all, and you can't get to him one damn time. That's terrible. And then you've got the ugly. How the hell are you going to let Albert Wilson torch your defense for 2 long touchdowns like that? One on a freaking wide receiver screen. And the other one on a short crossing route that basically was a glorified wide receiver screen. What was it, 45 and 76 yards or whatever the hell it was? You're going to let Albert Wilson of all freaking people torch you? And then of all damn things, if that ain't bad enough, you let Brock Osweiler throw for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns on your defense. Brock Osweiler sucks, but yet Vic Fangio, the Bears defensive coordinator, is still his bitch. How does that happen? When you've had 2 weeks to prepare, you can say, well, they were preparing for Tannehill and this and that and everything else. But come on, man. Brock Osweiler, you let him go for 380 yards and 3 damn touchdowns when you had 2 weeks to prepare defensively? And then the worst thing of all was Matt Nagy in overtime. After that goal line stand, the fumble, the turnover, fortunately recovering in the end zone, so it's a touchback, it goes to the 20. The Bears put together a nice drive. A couple of nice runs by Jordan Howard. They're getting into position for a long field goal. You've got like 3rd and 5. This is not the time to play it safe. This is not the time to wuss out to set up a long field goal. When you play conservative, you play to lose the game. Or more importantly, play to try and not win the game. Of all the gimmicks and risks and different crap that Nagy likes to do, you chose that particular moment in time and overtime to tuck your dick between your ass cracks and sit there and puss out? Or we're just going to pound it up the middle. You got a mobile quarterback. Why not try and run with him? Why not sit there and try to do something creative? Why not try to sit there and do something other than just basically conceding that we don't give a shit about trying to get a closer field goal or perhaps even into touchdown range? We just want to kick a long-ass field goal because we have so much faith in Cody Parkey. Let's have a guy kick a 54 or whatever the fuck it was yard field goal when he's got like 47 to 49 yard field goal range. That's a horrible decision, and not knowing and understanding your personnel and your game situation. The way the game had been going, the only right thing to do was for the Bears to continue to stay on the attack. Your offense had scored 28 points in the second half, even with turnovers. 28 points! Show some faith in your damn offense. Show some faith in your play calling. It's a chicken shit maneuver and the epitome of why the Bears deserve to ultimately lose this game. Because what happens? They don't go for it, like actually try to legitimately go for the first down. They end up kicking the field goal. Of course it's missed. And then Miami proceeds to immediately march down the damn field and kick the game winner them fucking selves. And ultimately, I'll leave you with this. This was ugly. It was all types of things, but this game is ultimately ugly. Really good teams win games they should lose. And not really good teams lose games they should win. When you look at this game on paper, Bears had 2 weeks to prepare. Dolphins have had a couple of tough losses. You're going with a backup quarterback who's not any damn good in Brock Osweiler. Everything should have pointed to, even with it being a road game, even with the field conditions being extremely hot, that the Bears should be able to win this game. And they didn't get it done. You had 2 weeks to prepare, and this is the result. 3 turnovers. Can't happen. Being a chicken shit on 3rd and 5 in overtime. Can't happen. A vaunted defense giving up fucking 28 points in regulation to a Brock Osweiler-led team. 380 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Can't happen. It just can't happen. The Bears should be sitting there at 4-1 and starting to establish themselves as a real threat. Instead, they're 3-2, staring down the barrel of the New England Patriots. Good luck with that one. And now we're going to start to wonder what the real truth about this Bears team was. There are certain games that ultimately represent a bigger, more important moment than others. Even though you could say all 16 games matter, they do. Especially when you have a chance at the playoffs and the divisional title like the Bears do this year. But this game, coming off of a bye week, where the week before that, you had put up 48 points offensively and shut down Fitzmagic and the freaking Bucs offense. To go out there and have 3 turnovers on offense, to go out there and lay an egg defensively, to go out there and have some really bad brain farts as a coaching staff. This was a total team loss and not something a really good team would do with 2 weeks to prepare.